Good day, Ruskin enjoyers. Hope everybody's doing alright out there in the world. Right, so of course it is the 22nd of July, and 2 days ago, yes, 48 hours ago, all of these Ruskins rotated into the Rust store, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at all of them. We're going to go ahead and try and see if each and every one of these skins still could potentially be a good investment. So, what we're going to basically be doing is just track all of their progress in terms of estimated sales. And we're going to try our best to see, is it still worth potentially buying? Are we better off doing a buy order? Well, if you saw my Rust or rotation video, and of course the predictions video, you'd know that by default, I was looking at this and thinking, yeah, I'm probably just going to be doing buy orders this week. Now, the reason why is, of course, it's a lot more tamer in terms of, like, the skins that were accepted. Like, in terms of continuations that we were going to be invested into, not so much. Rather, a lot of the skins this week were from newer people, which, by all accounts, fair enough. That's nice to see. So, once again, congratulations to all of the people that have their skins accepted today. But, in terms of how interested am I in all of these skins at the moment, it's a bit questionable. But I did make the point in my predictions video, just because a skin doesn't appear to be in demand at the moment, doesn't necessarily mean it's always not going to exactly be in demand, so do keep that in mind. But anyway, we'll go through all the skins, and we'll talk about how likely they're going to perform after the next Rust door appears and whatnot. So let's hop in, let's start talking about the Starfish Rug. So, yeah, quite a lot of people have noticed that this is a bit of a special rug. It's got transparency. If you put it over a window, you can see through it. It's all good. But the hard problem is it doesn't have glow in the dark. And yeah, it definitely helps, especially with the likes of a rug. Because this is probably one of the best things that you can put on your walls, on the floor, on the ceiling. And if it glows in the dark at night and you don't have any electricity or fireplaces or whatnot, I've already mentioned the point that basically it's helpful. It's very, very helpful, especially during the early game. Now, aside from that, it's also a bit goofy, so that's a bit standout. Compare it to all of the other rugs. Out of all of the rugs, which kind of compares to this and being that goofy? Not many, really. Not many. Like, a lot of them, at the very least, they're still, like, in the shape of a rug. But I guess, a rug can be any shape, really. But you get what I mean. So they're all rectangular except the heart and this one. Now, the heart sold a stupidly high amount. Like, back then, 40,000. So back in February time, we looked at 40,000 sales and we thought, yeah, that's ridiculous. And then, of course, the kelp rug had 50-odd thousand this just a couple of weeks ago, and that's still holding up quite strong. But that's got 265 quantity in the market. This is 408 quantity in the market. But the extra gimmick of the usefulness in covering your base in all the green is also a bit of a positive. You can't exactly cover your base in stars. But yeah, it's got 15,000 sales so far, 48 hours in. Where is this likely going to end up at? I'll be honest with you, I don't think it's going to reach 30,000. I don't think it's going to go too crazy, which will help it out. As an investment, that will help it out a whole lot more. Again, a lot of people are probably looking at this week and thinking, yeah, this is probably going to be a week where I probably just kind of save my money. This skin here, it's abnormal. That's a positive for us. We could do our barders first, then we could take a look at it afterwards. We could look at the barter support, and then we can figure out, do I actually want to buy it? And at the moment, I kind of am a fair bit worried about it. A fair bit. But will we ever see a rug like this? Will we ever see a goofy rug with this much transparency? Well, if you thought the Valentine's rug, the heart rug, was goofy enough, maybe we will. Maybe we'll see some sort of Christmas or Halloween themed rug with a lot of transparency that potentially gets accepted. And then we have more options, because the specialty of this having a lot of transparency, there's only 2 rugs that are like that. Yes, you also have the likes of the kelp rug, which you can also see through and whatnot. But at the end of the day, if we keep seeing more and more of rugs like this, the specialty of this is going to wear off. Remember what I mentioned in regards to the likes of the pet rocks, the animal rocks. If we keep seeing more animal rocks, all the ones that already exist are going to lose their thunder. So if we keep seeing more options, maybe this isn't so special anymore, and it suffers afterwards. But thinking more specifically now, I think I am going to be sticking with a Bioder in this one. I think that's going to be the case. So it's probably going to end up with maybe around 25,000 sales. We shall see where it ends up at. But it's the most in-demand skin this week, and it's only got 15,000 sales. Compare that to previous weeks of 48-hour analyses. It's definitely a lot more calmer, isn't it? So that's fair enough. Maybe we'll see some very ridiculous skins next week. Could happen, maybe. But this week was more for the newer people, and fair enough, that's cool. But Cubist, you definitely aren't a newer person. We've seen a lot of skins from you over time, haven't we? So best of luck. Maybe this will turn into a deplorable collection. You never know. What else could be made? What do you reckon? Maybe not so. Maybe we're not as much transparency, but you get the idea. Maybe we could see some more things come out with the Starfish collection. We shall see. But moving on, we have the Redemption Bar. I feel more confident with the Redemption Bar. With all of these Redemption weapon skins that we've had so far, they're all doing pretty nicely. Oh, look, the AK's gone up quite a bit. Wait, what? What's happened here? Whoa, what's going on here? Why is this suddenly shot up a fair bit? What's going on? Did someone buy out some stock earlier? Probably. I see the Boulders have had a bit of a boost. Did someone buy out some... Oh, what's this? Did someone talk about it on TikTok or something? Well, these are the things that we have to be aware of. I guess it's just trending upwards because it's a very nice looking skin. Also, as you can see, there's no actual resistance here. This could easily end up becoming a $5 skin. Look at that. There is no massive walls. Yeah, you got a 10 here and a 12 here, but there's no like 50 or 60 or 100 quantity wall. This could easily go up in price. All you have to do is buy them all. Anyway, moving on. That's essentially what all the redemption skins are like. They don't have that much resistance. They all could easily go up in price. And that is why I feel when we hit around post-Christmas time, when we see a whole bunch more people playing the game, as you can see over here, at the moment, 117,000, not too bad. Could have more. But when it's post-Christmas time, you're going to see it steadily above 150,000 constantly. So I really do feel like all of these are going to be comfortably in the positive around then. People are going to look at these skins. They're going to think, wow, this looks awesome. They're going to buy them. They're going to use them. So the bolt action rifle. This is the first bolt action rifle skin to be accepted in 2 years. The main thing that I questioned people when we saw this 2 days ago was, how often are you using a bolty? You really do need to think about that. Gun demand definitely will dictate the value of the skin. Now, because we haven't had a bolt action rifle skin for such a long time, pretty much all of them have gone up in the positive. Almost. So yeah, you can see all of that. But then you can see the likes of the tempered bar here, which did 30,000 sales. Yeah, that's down in price a fair bit. Awkward, but it is what it is. But yeah, the vast majority of them are in the positive. But I should also point this out. The vast majority of them did come out like before 2017 or 2018. So yeah, there wasn't really that many of them that are bought. So it's easy for them to go up in price. This right here, this is looking like it's going to do 25,000 sales. So 25,000 sales... That obviously will take quite some time for it to eventually go up in price, maybe. That's something to take into consideration. But in terms of the most bought... sorry, I almost said Thompson's then. In terms of the most bought bolt action rifles, if we do end up with around 25,000, we're probably going to be wedged around here. I mean, we're getting close already. I just noticed it was right here. But I think it's still going to do all right. As a whole set, Redemption is doing very, very nicely, as I've already kind of pointed out. I think it's all going to do very nicely in the future. Long-term investing, yes, this is definitely something that I would consider. But, you know, I'm not going to sit here and say buy it right yet. I mean, of course, if you want to use it, buy it, use it, support, you know, buy it, use it, support the skin creators. Fair enough. That does help out a lot. But in terms of buying these for a potential investment, do the buy order first, look at the buy order support afterwards, then make the consideration. But as of now, I really do feel like this is potentially going to be one of the skins that we might consider buying. Because then there's the other question of, how often do you see bolt action rifle skins being submitted to the workshop, Hedge? And it's not that much. I've seen a good few here and there, and they don't get accepted. But this probably got accepted because the collection is selling very nicely and there's a lot of demand for it. So we've got a custom G after custom SMG. I'm sorry, I'm skipping words here. Letters. Hedge. We have a custom SMG potentially being accepted next week. But on the horizon, fingers crossed, we're going to see so much more from Mr. Slanosta from this collection. What potentially might be next? Hopefully some clothing and armour. And I think that is just around the corner now, alright? Keep an eye out. So, yeah, that's looking to be pretty good. Now we're going to move on to the Concentric Tier 2. This was a big surprise. I was not expecting this. I didn't really expect anything. Well, of course I expect that, but wasn't really expecting anything for likes of clothing and armour for this roster. And this was accepted. So congratulations, Confusion. You've literally only just had a few skins accepted so far. And, well, here we are, Concentric. So, do you remember the Space Foil set? We've had this talk before, haven't we? Now, if Space Foil, Hoodie and Pants, right, if we did see Tier 3 or Tier 2 being made and accepted, these two still would have got up in price. It still would have worked out very nicely for it. However, we didn't see it happen. We did see a Tier 3 attempt be made, but unfortunately it wasn't accepted. And now we have the Concentric Tier 2 right here. If we do see Tier 3 or Hoodie and Pants being submitted and accepted by default, we will still see this Tier 2 spike in demand and spike in price. It still happens. However, I can't really sit here and get a good idea of how much people like this set. It's not... It's a bit awkward to say, but I personally am not that much of a fan of it. I don't really like the cracked design and whatnot. You might like it, by all means, that's fine. We have different tastes, different preferences. But, yeah, I don't see people really rushing to buy it. Overall, 8,000 is doing alright, but I know for a fact, 100%, if we do see Tier 3 and Hoodie and Pants being accepted, it will still go up in price. So do keep an eye out for the likes of that. But if you do want to stick with doing a buy order, yeah, don't blame you. I think I'm probably going to do that as well. This is probably going to end up with about 12 to 15,000 sales. That should be okay. And then, of course, if we do see some more stuff being accepted, then all the better for it. So, best of luck to you, Mr. Confusion. Keep up the good work, and we'll see what happens from here on now. But as of now, I'm, with the financial perspective, looking at this and thinking I'm probably just going to stick with a buy order. Panther Crossbow. So, I think I am probably just going to stick with a buy order in this one as well. But I will point this out. Crossbows don't really go down in price that bad compared to other weapons and tools. What do you mean? Well, as you can see... Actually, no, I meant to do lowest price. What were you doing, Hedge? As you can see, whilst this one's selling for 128, but this is a bit of an outlier. It's got, like, quite a few here, very low prices. It instantly goes up to about $1.40. So, crossbows... kind of don't really go down all the way below $1. It's very rare to see. So, yeah, looking at all of these and then looking at this, you know, at first glance, I don't think people are going to really appreciate what it is. But when you look at it, the design of the eyes and whatnot, it does look cool. But beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Yeah, I'm not sure everyone's going to be looking at this and thinking, wow, this is amazing, or... You know, it doesn't really have that much colour. But, you know, Panthers don't really have much colour anyway. So, it's awkward. I just know how people tend to behave. I know how people tend to react to things like this. I am a fair bit worried. I think I am just going to stick with a buy order. The main reason why I pointed out and said that these don't really go down to below $1.40 is because I'm probably going to do maybe like a $1 buy order or something. Maybe a fair bit higher, knowing how crossbows are a little bit different. But yeah, that is going to be my approach. If we do see some more Panther stuff being made and accepted, I mean, it will help it out 100%, but we've got to keep an eye on the workshop. Cactus Furnace. Cactus Furnace was part of a collection, or rather, it was intended to be part of a collection. The primitive green cactus skins here. Unfortunately, they were not accepted. But I wouldn't blame Chris in probably making a version 2 because it does look cool. It does look nice. I think people would appreciate some more primitive green skins. But will this continue, this furnace, as a collection? I think it will. I think it'll work out quite alright. This usually tends to happen. Newer people will get their first ever skin accepted, and they'll probably instantly try and make more skins and turn it into a collection, you know, based on the skin that was accepted. And I don't blame them. Keep it up. Keep up the good work. Now, we've had some pretty interesting looking furnaces accepted this year. Let's just go through all of them. Come on, 2023 furnaces, where are you? All right. So, yeah, we've definitely had a variety in terms of colour and themes. We had a frog, we had a capybara, we had a very scary monster, we've had ice cream, we've had it on fire, we've had skulls, creepy skulls, a rabbit. Now we've got a cactus. I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I'm still sticking with the point of I'm not too keen on investing in the likes of furnace skins, but I will point this out. This isn't selling that much. And in the long term, that actually might work out very nicely for it. So if you do end up doing a build on this, as time goes on, if you do end up buying a few here and there, I think this Cactus Furnace might actually work out very nicely in the future. And you never know, if we do see some more cactus deplorables or clothing skins being accepted, I think it might actually get a nice bit of a boost there. If it doesn't sell that much, there's definitely more opportunity to potentially make some very good profits. But let's see how it turns out. Maybe that furnace only does 10,000 sales, but when you compare it to all of the other furnaces that came out this year, that looks a lot less. And therefore, it's easier for it to potentially rebound and go in the positive, become a nice investment. So, yeah, I've already said that like 3 times in different ways. So, yeah, it can work out. Keep an eye on it. You know, we'll look at it on Wednesday night when I talk about the abnormals and regular skin prices, and we'll look at it and decide what we're probably going to do in terms of offering a price for it. But at the moment, that does look pretty good. Keep an eye out. All right. Large OSB box. I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I don't really get it. I understand that it's meant to be like those storage boxes that, you know, you put on ships and then cargo is sent across the world, la 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 la. But that's it really. It's not a lot to it. It doesn't really stand out that much. Especially, here's the thing. If you are trying to organise your base and you need a whole bunch of crates and whatnot, large boxes, and I don't think you're going to be wanting to use that, will you? So it doesn't surprise me that this hasn't actually sold that much. But again, because it hasn't sold that much, it could rebound easily and go up in price pretty easily. That could happen. So keep an eye on that. But yeah, I'm not super keen on it by default. Then we have the Windwalker SAR. Quite surprised this hasn't sold that much. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a very colourful SAR. Looks nice. I appreciate it. I respect it. Red tip on the aim sight. But no, people just don't seem to care too much about it, unfortunately. Now, I will point out, earlier this year, we did have a whole bunch of SARs being accepted. I mean, quite literally a few weeks ago is what I meant to say, but, I mean, it still is correct to say. But anyway, moving on. You know, we've had the likes of the Redemption SAR, the SAR Nana, Arctic Skull SAR. Sorry about that. So, yeah, you get the idea that people who really wanted a SAR this year probably maybe have already bought one. And now this has appeared. The 12th SAR to be accepted so far this year. Maybe if it appeared earlier, things might have worked out a fair bit better for it. But at the moment, it's not selling that much. It's probably going to end up with about 10,000 sales when this is all wrapped up. We'll keep an eye on that one. Also, it's abnormal. Alright, it's abnormal. We'll talk more about this when we do our abnormal builders. Abnormal builder first. Look at the support afterwards, make a consideration whether to buy it or not, because that's looking pretty interesting. With very low sales, will that easily spin it around and turn it into a positive? Or we shall see. And then the Colosseum double barrel shotgun, we literally just had black gold double barrel shotgun in a Rust store last week, didn't we? That sold for $2.49. This is selling for $1.99. There's like a 50-cent difference. But point made, basically, if anybody recently would have wanted a double barrel shotgun skin, they very likely would have bought the double barrel from last week, the black gold one. This right here is a very nice design. I do respect it. I think Zinc and Fresh did a wonderful job for what it is in terms of the old aged pillars from the likes of Athens and whatnot. But I stick by my point. People last week probably already bought their double barrel shotgun that they were aching for. So that, unfortunately, is struggling. It's not selling that much. But again, low sales can easily be spun around and potentially turn the skins into quite valuable skins. Because with such low quantity, means it gets bought out fairly easily. And then all you got left are the higher priced sale listings, and suddenly it's worth more because of that. And of course, they are very vulnerable for manipulation. We should always remember that. Usually, the lowest selling skins of the Rust store tend to get picked up by some manipulators, and then suddenly that skin's selling for double or triple, maybe even quadruple the price it's sold for the Rust store. But it's all manipulation. It's coordinated to make a skin look a whole lot more valuable than what it actually is, to trick trading websites and whatnot. So keep an eye out for such a thing. So yeah, that's this week. It wasn't super energetic, was it? My apologies, but it is what it is. Not a lot of people are super invested in this week. Fair enough. We have spent quite a lot this past June, but just keep an eye out on the sales. We'll see how things turn out. Of course, I'll be doing my abnormal talk on Wednesday next week, and we'll get a good idea of what prices we might want to offer for all of them, whether it's the likes of abnormals and the regular skins. Because with these regular skins, it's probably going to be a little bit tricky. You never know what might potentially be appearing in the near future. As I've alluded to throughout all of this video, continuations on the workshop. So, gentlemen, the moral of the story is keep an eye on the workshop. You never know what potentially might be appearing. And as of now, this is what we see. Sleeping bag. Interesting large box. I don't think you should be submitting 2 skins in the same week. We got another brick skin. Yes, brick theme skins, because of course with the incoming brick what is it, stonewall, yeah, brick stonewall building skin that will be appearing at the beginning of August, the August Force Wipe, lots of brick theme skins are expected to be seen, so keep an eye out for that. And what do we have here? That's a continuation of a collection. That is a continuation of the bismuth door that we saw earlier this year. So this is why we have to constantly keep an eye on the likes of the workshop. Now that I'm fully aware that this has appeared, maybe I might want to invest into the bismuth door, but I'm not going to because it's very cheap. Yeah, I don't think bismuth door is just going to suddenly shoot up in value and whatnot. So yeah, keep an eye on the workshop. Be aware of what's potentially coming out, and then make a smarter decision because of that. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some more concentric clothing and armor appear very quickly. That wouldn't surprise me. Same to the likes of the Cactus, because there was already primitive clothing that was made for it. I wouldn't be surprised if a version 2 or a continuation of that might potentially be appearing. Fully expect more redemption skins to be made, of course. I was curious about the Starfish Rug. And then, yeah, everything else included. So there's not much else to say. Keep an eye on my YouTube. Look out for all the new videos. And yeah, that's basically it. Oh, and Twitter, because I like to retweet things as they get submitted to the workshop and whatnot. So if you don't want to go through the workshop yourself, you can see all the things I retweet over the course of the weekend. And yeah, that will probably be a whole lot more convenient for you. So with that then, everybody, I hope you enjoyed yourself. I don't blame you if you just want to stick with doing some buy orders. You probably spent a whole bunch of money fairly recently, haven't you? But we should take this into consideration. I accept, right? You could take my privacy. The player count throughout all of this month has been going very strong, right? We are doing numbers very similar to post-Christmas. And remember what I said, post-Christmas, you see people not out of work, you see people out of college, out of school, loads more people with spare time, and they go and play games during the Christmas break, early January break. But the main thing is, when it's at this current moment, yeah, there's probably a bunch of kids on their summer vacation, but, you know, that doesn't include the college people, I think, and it doesn't include the people off work. So to see this amount of people playing at the moment is very, very, very interesting, and of course, very, very nice for us. We are seeing more and more people playing this game still. With all these new content updates, all the better. So do keep in mind, when you see sales like this, technically speaking, like if you were to make comparisons in the past, this is actually very low in terms of the sales so far. So, as I've said many times, low sales do mean there's a better chance of these potentially turning around and becoming a positive. So don't give up. Don't think things aren't going to be looking super great this week. You never know what's going to likely happen a few months down the line. Maybe all of these skins have continuations and they all turn into collections. There you go. Right, so keep an eye on the workshop. Keep your head up. And, yeah, keep an eye out for the buy orders. The abnormal buy orders. Catch you later. See you and goodbye.